Culture Club, brought to you by Hanum, the freshest bottled water made in Guam.
Buenas and Hafide, Grahusi Roquin-Jon Quichocho Siongco, coming to you from the village of Jigu. So I am a weaver, designer. I am currently exploring Akgat, and so yeah, here are some of my creations right here. I remember my very first thing I ever wove was a little grasshopper when I was in the 3rd grade at 8 years old. And ever since then, it's just kind of been on and off. I spent a number of years out in Washington State, but every time we came back home, I was always sure to kind of refresh my memory and gain some new skills. So I actually never had a one-on-one mentorship apprenticeship. I actually was initiated by my Chamorro teacher. She was able to start me off with the little small things like the little grasshoppers and everything, but as soon as I wanted to go into baskets and hats, I actually had no living relatives that I was aware of that could teach me that form. And so it was actually a lot of trial and error on my part. I would always just run into the backyard, into the boonies, pick out a branch and just keep on trying until I got something that resembled whatever I wanted. I remember actually my uncle, he brought home a bird that I believe one of his coworkers' aunties had made. And so when he brought it home, I was up all night just trying to mimic it, and the very next day I was actually able to present him a freshly woven one side by side. Yeah, I do spend a lot of time as well carving and creating jewelry. It's really a combination of finding a lot of things and then repurposing them, but also creating things from scratch as well. So I'm actually part of a collective called Gumagelet, and so it's a collection of different Chamorro artists, both local and diaspora here. And a few years back, we had an opportunity to showcase some fashions over at London during Fashion Week. And one of our guiding mantras was part land, part sea, all ancestry. And so it's not always inherently copying the traditional forms. Oftentimes it's maybe using traditional materials with new techniques or traditional techniques with new materials. And so this one over here, I was inspired by the Nifin pattern. And so I just wanted to go really extra big, and so it expands about 8 inches out. And then I have here these two tuhung that were inspired by different ocean shells. And so this one is inspired by the cone shell, and this one is inspired by spondylus. So when I had spent some time in Washington State, I was actually very much involved in the Seattle arts community. And so we had a number of showcases and workshops there. And it's also something that I hope to really start here as well, alongside many others. Because I know that there's quite a few other artists that really want to see that for the island. And so we're actually working together. We have the Guam Fashion Collective that will be showcasing about 10 or so different designers, and we'll be showcasing some fashions in June, July, so stay tuned for that. So I actually sell primarily, the way to reach me is through my Instagram at Roquin. Otherwise, a lot of the things here are really special or for exhibits, but I also do made to order. So I really don't want to, turn out a handful of things and then kind of just wait around to see if they're going to sell or not. And it's also that I really enjoy making these objects, but if it's going to be for someone else, I'd love to have them in mind and with the intention. So just shoot me a direct message or shoot me an email, and I'd be more than happy to work with you from there. My name is Roquin-Jon Quichocho Siongco, and I am a proud member of the KUAM Culture Club.
Culture Club, brought to you by Hanum, the freshest bottled water made in Guam.